All photos are black and white historic photos unless otherwise stated. National Park Service logo, Mount Rushmore National Memorial, Experience Your America. Title, over time-lapse of clouds and monument, Mount Rushmore and Stone and Story. Who are the faces on the mountain? Portrait of Borglum. Sculptor Gutzon Borglum carved more than individuals into stone. Mount Rushmore was intended to commemorate American culture and ideals, a monument to democracy itself. Photo of Borglum raising an American flag on top of Mount Rushmore with two others. Thus, he chose 4 presidents he believed best embodied the spirit of America and represented the first 150 years of American history. Video of the monument. These presidents were George Washington. Portrait Washington. Text reads, first president, founder of the nation, birth. Thomas Jefferson. Portrait Jefferson. Text reads, Louisiana Purchase, Declaration of Independence, expansion. Theodore Roosevelt. Portrait Roosevelt. Text reads, Panama Canal, Trustbuster, Conservation, Development. And Abraham Lincoln. Portrait Lincoln. Text reads, Save the Union, Emancipation Proclamation, Preservation. Side profile, Washington carving. Title, George Washington. Washington was a natural and uncontested first choice, and carving began in late 1927. Photo, beginning of carving Washington's face with scaffolding. As the father of the new country, he laid the foundation of American democracy and is the most prominently featured on the mountain. Side view, sculpting with man on nose. On sculpting Washington, Borglum said, I deliberately carved the head in an upright position without the slightest tilting forward or backward, or to either side, to fix upon the mind of the observer the upright character of the man. Photo, tram en route to Washington figure. But I found the figure was too still. I merely pivoted the body by cutting the left shoulder further back into the mountain. Photo, men working on the figure. It had the same effect as if the head itself had been turned. It has put more life into the figure. Present day completed face fades into face with snow. Borglum's monument, a shrine of democracy, has and will continue to serve as a lasting testament to the founding, growth, preservation, and development of the American nation. Text over Washington figure. I hope I shall always possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man, George Washington. Close-up face, text on screens, Thomas Jefferson. Painting, 5 men present draft of Declaration of Independence to Congress. Jefferson is well known as the primary author of the Declaration of Independence, a document critical to American democracy and an inspiration for other democracies around the world. Declaration with signatures. This in itself was a great accomplishment. However, Borglum chose him not just because of this, but because of the Louisiana Purchase. Map of U.S. highlighting Louisiana Purchase. Jefferson dreamt of westward expansion, and his land deal more than doubled the size of our country. Photo, Borglum with studio model, pictured left to right, Jefferson, Washington, Lincoln. Borglum's vision originally placed Thomas Jefferson on Washington's right. However, because of poor quality stone, the sculpture had to be revised. Photo, partially carved Jefferson on Washington's right. After months of hard work and many dollars later, the first attempt was blasted away in 1934 before carving began again. Photo carving tunnel Rushmore in background with Jefferson on Washington's right. Photo carving with Jefferson on Washington's left. Borglum ran into problems partway through carving in the new position. A major crack was revealed running through Jefferson's nose, and the head had to be reset 5 degrees to the north, set back 4 feet, and tilted roughly 18 inches to its present-day position. Close-up face. Photo, Jefferson's face covered with dedication flag. With all of the setbacks, it took 6 years from the beginning of carving in 1930 to its dedication in 1936, the longest time period between initial carving and dedication for any of the 4 presidents. Close-up face. At what age should Jefferson's figure be immortalized? Mount Rushmore. Young or old? Borglum eventually decided to portray a younger Jefferson at the age of 33 when he had drafted the Declaration of Independence. Close-up Jefferson eye. Jefferson from side. Despite the many challenges Borglum faced while carving, Jefferson's figure now looks eternally heavenward as part of one of America's enduring icons. Mount Rushmore with rolling clouds, text on screen. We act not for ourselves, but for the whole human race. The event of our experiment is to show whether man can be trusted with self-government. Thomas Jefferson. Close-up face, text on screen. Theodore Roosevelt. Close-up mountain featuring Roosevelt. Perhaps the most contested presidential figure to appear on Mount Rushmore is Theodore Roosevelt. Many believed him too recent a president to be commemorated in such a permanent manner. Photo, Borglum with early model of Jefferson, Washington, and Lincoln. Early models didn't include Roosevelt, only Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln. Photo model, no Roosevelt. However, the vision was always evolving, and measurements of the mountain showed that there would be room for one more figure. Photo model shows Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln with Borglum in front. Borglum was a personal friend of Roosevelt and saw the opening of the Panama Canal as an important development that allowed easier travel and trade access to the West. Photo, Panama Canal. Portrait Norbeck. Senator Peter Norbeck, an instrumental individual in the success of Mount Rushmore, was also enthusiastic about the inclusion of Roosevelt. Portrait Coolidge. But it may have been President Calvin Coolidge's strong belief that Roosevelt should be recognized for being the first president to protect the rights of the working man that ultimately contributed to Borglum's final decision. Close-up Roosevelt face on mountain. Roosevelt's iconic mustache measures approximately 20 feet across. Close-up mustache. And Borglum, ever attentive to detail, purposely left it with a rough texture, characteristic of the president's rugged American spirit and individuality. Photo during carving. On carving Roosevelt, Borglum is quoted as saying, "Tell them I'm making Roosevelt's glasses out of the most precious thing on earth, imagination." Close-up glasses rim. Time-lapse sunrise and clouds over Mount Rushmore. And so today, Roosevelt's image stands carved high into the mountain, part of the ultimate monument to American ideals. Text: We here in America hold in our hands the fate of coming years, and shame and disgrace will be ours if in our eyes the light of high resolve is dimmed, if we trail in the dust of golden hopes of men. Theodore Roosevelt. Lincoln face. Text reads, Abraham Lincoln. Portrait Lincoln. Lincoln oversaw one of the most pivotal periods of the United States, the Civil War. His strength and determination held the Union together during one of America's most trying times. Photo: Lincoln in hat with soldiers in uniform. Borglum wrote on the selection of Lincoln and Roosevelt. Lincoln, because it was Lincoln and no other than Lincoln, whose mind, heart, and finally life determined that we should continue as a common family of states and in union forever. Close-up face. Trees and sky with memorial. Borglum had long admired and respected Lincoln, and the sculpture at Mount Rushmore was not Borglum's first of the president. Photo: bust of Lincoln. He also sculpted the marble bust of Lincoln at the U.S. Capitol and the seated Lincoln in Newark, New Jersey. Photo: sculpture Lincoln on bench with hat next to him. Photo: Lincoln carving process. One of the dilemmas Borglum faced was whether or not to carve Lincoln clean-shaven or with a beard. Lincoln face shows beard. Eventually, he decided to portray Lincoln with the beard he had while president. Photo: Borglum touching smaller model. Borglum was a master sculptor. An incredible attention to detail contributed to the lifelike portrayals of each president. Photos carving process. Borglum paid special attention to the eyes of each sculpture. Worker close-up working on eye. Each eye spans approximately 11 feet. A shaft of protruding granite approximately 20 inches long serves as the pupil. Close-up video of Lincoln's eyes. The smooth front surface of the shaft reflects light, and the concave depressions create shadows that add depth. In Mount Rushmore, the story behind the scenery, Borglum's son states, "Many observers have remarked that the compassionate face of Lincoln is the most skillfully carved of the four faces on Mount Rushmore. Video memorial. If this is true, it is no doubt because of my father's great reverence and love for Lincoln, his favorite subject." Lincoln face with text. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the House to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. Abraham Lincoln. Text on black. Royalty-free music. Americana. Kevin MacLeod. INCOMPETECH.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Free and easy. Library of Congress.